FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
Recently, I was reading a piece of yours on Andrew Sullivan.
Oh, you poor thing, yeah.
Yeah, who and I was mostly in agreement with you, because I think Andrew Sullivan writes a lot of worthless crap. But I was bothered by your allegation of him being an anti-Semite, because I think while I may agree with some of your points, I find when you use an ad hominem attack like that, especially one invoking anti-Semitism, which is so powerful, I think it cuts off discourse. And I think it annihilates this gray zone, which is so important to good discourse.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So while I agreed with your points, I disagreed with using that word and what I thought was a smear, because I thought it was contradictory to a lot of the things you've said here and a lot of your own principles.
Let me say a few things about that. Thank you. In the first place, it was clear to me that whatever I said about Andrew in that thing, it did not cut off discourse, that's for sure. Secondly, I did not say that Andrew's an anti-Semite. I said that he is peddling anti-Semitic tropes, and if he continues to do so, he has to explain why he isn't. I stand by that for the following reason. There are people in this country who are adamantly against every single item of what they denounce as the gay lifestyle or the gay agenda, and yet they insist they are not homophobic. They may not be homophobic, but if there is nothing about gay life, never mind gay marriage, if there is nothing about gay life, about the way gays live, or about the way the rights that gays want, or about adoption, or about health benefits, or about marriage, if none of this, if they oppose all of this, even if they are not homophobic, they will have to explain that they are not homophobic. Similarly, if there were Southern Democrats who were opposed to every single civil rights bill that ever came before Congress, insisting that they were not racists, and some of them were not racists, because in the South, in fact, blacks and whites had actually come to know each other and learned to live together, and I'm quite certain they were not racists. But those people had to expect that they would be accused of being racists, and they had to explain why they were not racists. And if they explained it plausibly, then in fact they were cleared of the charge. The idea that that it is okay that the minute you use the word anti-Semite, the sky is going to fall and the earth is going to move. There are anti-Semites in the world. There are anti-Semites even in the blogosphere. There are anti-Semites in America, and if somebody you can debate what is an anti-Semite, but if someone in his blog makes jokes about how the Jews do not understand the Trinity, and a Jew has no right to tell American Christians anything about their politics, and a figure with a hook nose in a crucifixion scene by Hieronymus Bosch looks like Larry Summers with his hook nose, and that Jewish support for Israel has cost the Jews, not Israel, but the Jews their integrity, etc., etc. After a while, I thought to myself, man, enough. I mean, none of us need any lessons from Sullivan in the criticism of Israeli policy. We know about this. But there is a lot of anti-Semitism in the world, and we are living in a very volatile time. In part because of the damn blogosphere. And my view is, don't play with that fire right now. It is possible to adamantly denounce the Israeli government's policy on the Palestinians, on Gaza, on Lebanon, on you name it, Arabs in Israel. It is possible somehow to do all this in a way that would let no one suspect that you are anti-Semitic. And it is possible to denounce Israeli policy on the West Bank without being reminded of Larry Summers' nose when someone shows you on the internet a hook nose from a scene from Calvary in the 15th century. It is possible to do that. And so I thought to myself, no, this is pure blogosphere demagoguery. And since in the blogosphere, everything one says has the protection of being spontaneously true and completely honest, you don't want me to pause and think, do you? Right? Which is the basic. I thought to myself, no. And it was actually this one thing that Sullivan wrote, this clever little thing, this quote of the day, this letter from Auden, that it would be impossible to explain the Trinity to readers of the New Republic. I thought, what the hell does that mean? And once I began to ponder it and look at other things, so actually I'm not in the slightest degree embarrassed by suggesting that Andrew is peddling anti-Semitic tropes or playing with fire. If he wants to prove that he's not playing with fire, that's fine. What he does is what people on the internet always do in response. They say, my bad, I'm sorry, I spoke too soon, I typed too quickly, I linked too fast, I posted too quickly. Sorry, but that's the blogosphere. But by what law of history of culture or culture is the blogosphere going to be exempted from fundamental rules of facticity and decency? What makes bloggers so damn special? That the rest of us have to worry to get our facts right, and we have to ponder our language so as to be precise in our formulations, so as not to give misleading impressions, or to fan prejudice when we are making criticisms that prejudiced people also share. The rest of us have to lose sleep about this, but on the blogosphere, it's fine. Why? This, by the way, will all end on the magical day when somebody sues somebody for something that was on the blogosphere. I cannot wait for that day. I cannot wait for that day. And then this dirty game will all be over.